The Days Gone creator released a very, very pathetic interview bitching about like Sony's take on how they treated Days Gone and stuff like that. It's a very, very interesting interview. I think the main thing that people are taking away from it is like Sony is increasing expectation that like all of their first party games should have like really, really high Metacritic scores, right? So something like Days Gone, which launched with like a 70 because it featured a white male protagonist and focused mostly on white people, isn't worth supporting in the future. So like the creative lead was fired. They're not going to make a sequel, and they're not going to do anything more with it. As they should, because Days Gone was a piece of shit. Like in spite of game journalists giving it a 70, my expectation is that like it probably should have been lower than that. But that guy doesn't feel that way. In fact, that guy, the creative lead of Days Gone, thinks that I should have bought Days Gone at full fucking price. If you want like new games from Sony, you better start buying games at full price. Days Gone, from what I can gather, did not sell all that well at release. People waited for a discount. They waited for a price drop. They took a wait and see approach with this game. And to that I have to say, congratulations. Like, congratulations. You did exactly what you should have done. Wait and see if this game is any good. You can't trust game journalists. You can't trust Metacritic scores. You can't trust like the creators of the game. You can't trust YouTubers. You can't trust anyone. The only thing you can do is wait and see if a game is actually good. Like, I came up with this concept called like the 6-month rule. Like, if a game is still being talked about like 6 months later, it's a legit a good game. People are playing it, are talking about it, do love it. Check it out. Then like that's kind of when you can kind of tell that the game is legitimately good, as opposed to something like BioShock Infinite, which launches with 5 million units sold, launches with a crazy Metacritic score, and then is like completely forgotten once The Last of Us comes out, right? People in general are starting to wake up to the fact that AAA games, not only from PlayStation, but from Xbox, from these third-party studios, the vast majority of developers in the industry, are simply not worth supporting. They're simply not that fun. There are very, 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 very few games that are worth spending your money on. And as a result of that, people are becoming more and more apprehensive about paying $60, or with the PS5 generation, $70 for a release that they may not like. So as a result of that, people are increasingly waiting to see if a game is any good. And I think that's kind of the result of with new IPs like PlayStation. With new IPs that PlayStation is putting out, this is really, really going to impact their business model, because these people are incredibly reliant on heavy day one sales, having an insane Metacritic marketing blitz. They are reliant on people like blindly buying into their product day one before like people catch wind of the fact that the game is a piece of shit. With people waiting and refusing to buy in like right away, these people lose a lot of their impact. They suddenly have no real sales numbers to brag about. They don't have they don't have the word of mouth to keep them relevant. They don't have like anyone. Nobody really cares about their game. It's Days Gone was kind of a joke in general. I thought it was like one of the most forgettable and lackluster PlayStation exclusives of last generation, and that was saying something. This game got ported to PC and nobody gave a shit. People gave a shit about Death Stranding coming to PC of all things. I feel as if most of PlayStation's first-party developers are on the way out. People are talking about the Japanese in particular, with like the Gravity Rush and Bloodborne people leaving, but I think it's affecting a lot of people. I think it's going to affect like Sony Santa Monica eventually. I think it's going to affect God of War Part 2. I think it's going to affect Naughty Dog once they start putting out new things that aren't The Last of Us Part 2. Like, once those Metacritic scores start dropping, once the sales start going down, like, you're going to see a lot of these beloved studios suddenly just lose a bunch of their people. Not that, that's right, Naughty Dog has already lost a bunch of its people. Remember that? The thing that game journalists desperately tried to cover up with all these people, like, just being overworked at Naughty Dog for The Last of Us Part 2? Yeah. There are, like, a lot of things going on in the gaming industry right now. There's a lot of things to talk about. But the main thing that I want to tell you, like, people who are, like, boycotting PlayStation, is good job. Congratulations. You really are doing the right thing. You really are standing by your principles and, like, supporting the gaming industry by just not supporting garbage. This is all you really needed to do for the past 10 years to make gaming a better place. Never, ever buy PlayStation.